Alright, so we're going to make a carousel. We're going to model the horse and model the whole mechanism, and we're going to animate it. It's going to be fun. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to make the horse. Let's press 1 on the numpad to go to front view. Let's go up close. Let's press tab, go into edit mode. 7 on the numpad to go to top view. Put the cursor here. We're going to add a horizontal loop cut. Control R, left click twice. Z4 to go to wireframe view. 3 on the keyboard to go to face select. Select these faces, delete faces. Let's add a mirror modifier. Disable it on the x-axis, enable it on the y-axis, enable clipping. Back to front view. Let's add a subdivision surface modifier. We can get rid of this cube, so we just have the subdivided cube here. So next to subdivision, just click on this triangle. We can just scale this up on the x-axis. Give it 3 vertical loop cuts. And then we can select this loop cut here, hold down Alt, put the cursor here, left click. We're going to move this on the x-axis, GX, move it here, press 3 on the keyboard to go to face select, select this face. We're going to extrude it freeform, so you just press EZ, that lets you extrude it freeform. Let's rotate like this, and then EZ again, rotate again here. Let's scale it in on the x-axis. Go into solid view, select this face here, and rotate it a little bit. Maybe move it back a little. Let's go back into wireframe view, Z4. Let's press C to go to circle select. Select the head and the neck, all those faces. Go to top view, 7 on the numpad. We're going to scale this in SY. Scale in the head and the neck. Let's go into solid view. Press 1 on the keyboard to go to vertex select. Select this vertex. We're going to bevel it. Control B, V for vertex. And then move your mouse. It's a little bit tricky, but kind of moves up like that, gives you ears. Let's see, let's go into edge select, 2 on the keyboard, select this edge, just scale it in on the x-axis, SX. Let's bevel it, Control B, move the mouse. Let's extrude it, freeform, EZ, bring it up like this, bring it over like this. Select this edge over here, bevel it, Control B, extrude it, EZ. Let's add a loop cut, horizontal loop cut here, scale it in a little bit. Same thing in the back one, Control R, scale it in. Let's add a loop cut above the feet on each, the front and the back. These are very thin faces on the x-axis because we beveled an edge instead of a face. But let's go into face select, select these 2 faces here on the front hoof here. Let's just scale it up, press S a little bit. Same thing on the back one, scale it up a little bit. Let's go to the back here, press 1 to go to vertex select again. Let's select this vertex, and we're going to bevel it, Control BV, move the mouse, and let's just extrude this on the Z, EZ. It's really small, so let's go up close and maybe back up a little bit, and we're going to just scale it up like that, maybe more. And let's just rotate it, R, rotate it so it's like that, and then extrude it down, EZ. So we got the tail there. Okay, so let's just add a knife tool cut here. Just press K and the cursor turns into a knife, and then just select this edge here. Maybe bring it over to the middle and enter. That gives you a good division here, and then press 3 to go to face select. Select this face and extrude it out, E. That gives us hair. Edge select, select this edge here, and just maybe move it up a little bit, G. And maybe even move this one up, G. So we have hair, that looks pretty good, I think. Yeah. Let's go into material preview, Z, then material preview, then material properties, the beach ball icon, click on there, go to base color, and then go about here, drag it down a little bit to get a light brown. Let's go into face select. Actually, before we do that, let's add another knife tool cut, press K, and just add one right here, enter. We'll see how that looks later, but when we add the hair, actually let's just add the hair material and see what happens. Press 3 to go to face select, C to go to circle select, and just select these faces and these faces on top here, C. This one here too, C. I think that looks pretty good. So that's for the hair. And then let's also do the tail, C, select these faces. And then we're in material properties, so go up here, click on the plus, new, base color, then just go to the orange, and then just drag this down to get kind of a dark brown, and assign. Let's go back into wireframe view, deselect everything, and then just press C, select the hooves, and then go back into material preview, and then again plus new base color, drag this down to get kind of a dark gray, and you can put the roughness all the way up. And then assign, that's got the hooves. Now I think if we go to side view, our legs are really skinny, so let's go back into wireframe view Z4. Actually we're in object mode. Let's go back into edit mode, deselect everything. We're in face select. C, let's just select both legs. Be a little tricky with the tail there. Let's just do it this way. C. So we got both legs. Let's go to side view 3. Oh yeah, let's go to solid view again. Just want to make sure you don't have, okay, so we want to deselect these faces here. You don't want to have those selected. You only want to have the legs selected. We go to side view and we're going to scale these up on the y-axis, SY. Scale the legs up that way so they're thicker that way. Now back into material preview. Let's add a UV sphere. Shift A, mesh, UV sphere. G, let's bring it up. And let's right click and shade auto smooth. Let's scale it down, S. Let's go to top view, 7 on the numpad. Let's just move this, G, move it over near the head like that. And then back to front view, and let's just move it down, G, put it like right about here. And then let's go up close. Maybe scale it in on the y-axis, SY, like that, a little bit. And then we can give this a material. We're in material properties, so you just go new, and then right next to base color there's the yellow dot. Click on the yellow dot, this box comes up, and then just select image texture. The link is in the description, and then just click open and open the eye material. You see it there, but I'm gonna fix it a little bit. Let's open up a new window up here, and we're gonna go up here and then open up the UV editor. And then let's go back down to here, and in the viewport just tab into edit mode, and you have this tab up here that says UV. Click on there, this box opens up, and then just select project from view, and then go back up here to the UV editor, press A, and press S30, and then here's our eye, and then we can just line it up with the project from view. Gives you a straight on mapping, UV mapping there. So let's tab back into object mode. So there's the eye. Now let's select the eye and give it a mirror modifier. Disable it on the x-axis, enable it on the y-axis. Grab the eyedropper, select the horse, and let's go ahead and just apply that modifier. Alright, so we're going to add the, I looked it up, it's called a head stall, and it's part of the bridles, which is the whole mechanism with the reins and everything, but the part around the head is called the head stall. The way I've been doing it is, maybe there's a better way to do it, but this is how I'm going to do it. Shift A, mesh, circle. Let's press / so we can isolate it. Let's go to side view, 3 on the numpad. Tab into edit mode. 1 to go to vertex select. Let's rotate it on the y-axis, RY 90. Let's go into edge select. We're in edit mode. I'm going to select these edges here and delete them. Delete edges. And I'm going to add a mirror modifier, disable it on the x-axis, enable it on the y-axis, enable clipping. Let's go to front view, press /, press A, then G, and here's our circle. Yeah, back into vertex select. And I'm just going to rotate it like this, and we're just going to put it here. Look at the picture here, these horses. So we're trying to make this thing here. So I'm gonna, let's see, maybe move it a little bit here. Just scale it down like this. And we're going to extrude these E like this. Go into edge select. And select maybe these 3 edges here. Let's just extrude them up to about here. Go into face select. Put the cursor here. Hold down Alt and just select this part here. And I'm going to duplicate it. Shift D. Left click. G. And now we have another piece here that we're going to put up here. So you can see there's a piece behind the eye here. See it on this other picture too. Behind the eye, between the ear and the eye here, and then it goes down below the neck here. So let me rotate that just like this, and I'm just gonna scale it up like that, and then scale it in on the X a little bit. Scale it down a little, and then rotate it again, and then just bring it up here. I might even grab, go into face select, grab these faces up here. Just rotate it a little bit like this. Move it over just so it fits a little better. Grab these faces, just move them back a little bit. Now let's go into face select, and we're going to duplicate this one again, but only the top half. So let's select this face and then hold down Control, select this face here, Shift D, left click G. We're going to bring this up here, rotate it, and scale it up on the X-axis, rotate it, and we're going to try to connect this to this here. You can see like this goes behind the ear. So let's see, grab this and let's go into edge select, select this edge, and then shift select these three edges here. Go up here to this edge thing, this box comes up, go to the third one here, bridge edge loops, and just click there and it connects that. Let's see, this part up here, I think we can make it a little smaller. Just grab those faces and maybe scale it in. Rotate it for a second. Scale it down on the Z-axis, and then rotate it, and then bring it in a little bit. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a shrink wrap modifier, but we can't shrink wrap under here because it's a little bit, this angle here is going to mess us up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these faces under here and press P, separate by selection. Go into object mode and then just select the big part without this part here, and now we're going to give this the shrink wrap modifier. And you grab the eyedropper and then select the horse, and then it shrink wraps it. Go here to offset and just increase that, and then select this part here, maybe move it up a little, and just you can just join those. Shift select this and then Control J, that joins those, and that looks okay. This one got a little bit bunched up here, but straighten that out later, I guess. Go into object mode here, probably give that a material, new base color, give it like a blue. What I'm going to do now is, I think the horse needs a little bit of tweaking. In fact, in the subdivision here, we're in the viewport. The render will have more levels. So let me just increase the levels just so we can see what it's going to look like a little better. Tab into edit mode. So yeah, I just need to tweak the geometry on the horse a little. So select this face here. I'm just going to scale this in on the Y-axis. Maybe select the bottom faces, do the same thing, scale them in on the Y-axis. Gives it a little more, a little better shape, I think. Okay, so now we're going to do the saddle. Let's just add a plane, Shift A, mesh, plane. Go to top view here. Let's just press / and isolate the plane. Let's tab into edit mode, right click, subdivide, and then put like 10 cuts here. And let's scale it up on the Y-axis. Let's go into vertex select, and I'm going to select these 4 corner vertices. And turn on proportional editing. And I'm going to scale it in like that. Try to get like an oval shape. Then I'm going to turn off proportional editing and scale it in again. That looks pretty good. Okay, so go into material properties and give this like a purple color, and then go to face select, press C to go to circle select, then I'll select the outer faces here, and click the plus, new, base color, and then give it kind of a green, the outside there. Alright, so let me press / to bring back the horse. Probably better to do this in object mode. GZ, bring this up here, move it on the X-axis, GX. Okay, so we're going to give this a cloth modifier. Cloth modifier is actually not in modifiers, but it's in physics properties. This atom thing here, click on here, and then just click on cloth, and then also select the horse, and we're going to give the horse a collision modifier, collision property. And now let's just play the animation. And that lands on there. Looks pretty good. Now, what we can do is with this selected, let's go back into the physics properties here. Down here it says cache, and then just click bake, and then it runs through the timeline here, and then go actually into the modifier properties, not the physics properties, the modifier properties, and then the cloth modifier appears there. Let's just apply it. Let's go here now. Let's duplicate this. We're going to actually make the saddle now. This is kind of, I guess it's part of the saddle. There's the thing below the saddle here. But we're going to make the saddle. So let's duplicate this, Shift D, and we have this here. Maybe scale it up a little bit. Might be easier in edit mode. Press A, scale it up. Maybe that's a little bit too big, but let's go into edge select. You want to select the outer edge, hold down Alt, and it doesn't do the whole edge. So with this selected here, then let's press Control, then select another edge here. What we're going to do is we're going to extrude this up, EZ, like this. Then we're going to rotate it like this, and then put the cursor in the middle. Press F, add a face. Press A to select everything. Let's just give it a new material, plus, and actually let's just go and give it the blue material that's on the headstall sign. And now it needs to be scaled down on the Z-axis like that. Looks pretty good. Maybe go into face select. Select the top face here, bring it up, GZ, bring it up a little bit, press A. I think the whole thing still needs to be scaled down on the Z. I think that looks pretty good. So there's the saddle. Yeah, maybe bring this up a little. Let's see, look at this here. It looks like the saddle's, the front of it is lined up with this. Bring that up a little bit on the X, like that. Now, to make the whole thing for the carousel, we're going to need to make this all one object, and in order to do that we have to select the horse, go into modifiers, and just apply all the modifiers, starting with the top. Apply the mirror modifier, apply the subdivision surface modifier, apply the collision modifier. Maybe we're going to tweak the headstall a little bit. I don't mind the wrinkles here, but maybe fix this part here. Tab in edit mode, press Z4 to go into wireframe view. 1 to go to vertex select, let's press A, and I think it's this vertex here. Select this and go back into material preview. Vertex here, and I'm just gonna bring it up on the Z axis, GZ. That way it's outside here. Tab into object mode. That looks better. I think that's good to go. So with that selected, I don't know if it needs to be selected, but let's just apply these modifiers. Select this one here, doesn't have any modifiers, this one doesn't. And then the eyes. Okay, so we're going to make this all one piece. It doesn't matter what we start with. We can start with the eye, doesn't matter. Select the headstall, the saddle, this, and then the horse, and then just go Control J. It's all one piece now. It just says cube there. But now what we're going to do is we're going to, you see in here the horses have this pole they're connected to, the pole there. So let's just add a cylinder. Let's just scale it up on the Z like this, and scale it down, and that's good. Maybe scale it up again on the Z, bring it up a little bit like that. GX, maybe move it a little closer here. We're also going to make this part of the horse too, so just shift select the horse, and then Control J, and the material went with the material on the horse. Let's just go into edge select an edge here, and then press L, selects this whole thing. And then we're just going to go to material properties, plus, new. Right now we could just go with the white here, I guess. Sign. And there's one other thing you might want to add. I forgot to add this during the video, but I remembered afterwards. Is this medallion here. You can just use a circle, mesh circle. So like you can see this has it, and this has that, like that. And you can mirror it on the other side, and then do the same thing and apply the modifiers and join it to the whole object. What we need to do is let's go to top view. We're going to add a curve circle, shift A, curve circle, tab into edit mode, just scale this up, S, scale it up to about here, and let's go back in object mode, and let me select the horse. Actually what we want to do is we want to duplicate the horse about 5 times or so. You can do it more if you want. Shift-D, left click, Shift-D, left click, Shift-D, left click, Shift-D, left click, Shift-D, left click. I'll do a couple more for good measure. Shift-D, left click, Shift-D, left click. And I'm just going to leave this horse visible, and then I'm just going to hide the rest of them right now. We're going to have some horses going around here. Now you see in these pictures that I noticed this, most carousels have the horses going this way, going like counterclockwise. So we actually need to reverse this horse, because when we put the array modifier on, the curve modifier, it's going to actually go the other way. So let's reverse it. RZ 180. Now, if I were just to put the array and the curve modifier for the horse to put this on here, it would work, but the horse would be distorted, kind of curving, going with the curve. So Blender does that. When you erase something on a circle, it'll take the shape slightly of the circle, so we don't want that. So we're going to add a plane here. Shift A, mesh, plane. Where's the plane? And I'm just going to duplicate the plane also because we need to duplicate that one about 7 times, I think. Shift D, left click, Shift D, left click. Again, do the same thing, just hide the rest of these for the time being. And I believe we'll have to do the same thing with the circle here. We're only going to use this circle twice, so I'm just going to make one duplicate of it. And just hide that one. Okay, so what we're going to do is, it's a little bit complicated, but we're going to select the plane, go to modifiers, we're going to give the plane an array modifier, and we're going to give it curve modifier, and the curve object is going to be the circle. And let's go to top view. We're going to have 4 of these planes on the circle, and then we're going to change the X factor, increase the X factor, and we're just going to have them evenly distributed like that. 13.3 works for this circle. Might not work for yours, but you want it so that planes are like this. Now, with the plane selected, go here to object properties. Actually, before we do that, just select the horse, and then shift select the plane, and then parent the horse to the plane. Hold control, press P, set parent to object, and now just select the plane. Go to object properties here, go to instancing, and change the instancing to faces. And now the horses are on here, and then where it says show instancer, just take these check marks out. So now that we have the horses on here. Okay, so now we really want 8 horses on this circle, so we need 4 more, but we needed to separate the 2 sets of 4 because we're going to have some of them going up and some going, we're going to have them going up and down at different times. So what you want to do is let's go here to the outliner, and actually now these are going to be called plane. So let's just hide in the viewport, hide those in the plane, and then hide the cube here. And we're going to go to our second cube, the one that we duplicated, unhide it, and actually rotate it 180, RZ 180. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to grab the second plane, unhide it, and again we're going to give it an array modifier and a curve modifier. I'm not sure I can use the same circle, so I think I might be able to, but I'm not sure. Let me just, I'll just hide that circle and use the other circle that I duplicated. Let's go back to our plane, select the plane again. And again, put this up to 4. And again, go to top view and do the same thing. Just increase that so they're evenly distributed. And again, parent the horse to the plane. And again, select the plane, go to object properties, and then in instancing, click on faces. Where it says show instancer, just take the checks out. Let's unhide the other horse, the other cube and plane. Actually, the other plane anyway. What we're going to do is, doesn't matter which one is selected. This is the second one, doesn't matter. What we're going to do is go into, it says plane 01, which is actually these horses on the outside. So now go back into modifiers. I'm just going to apply the array modifier and apply the curve modifier. And then I'm going to go to top view 7. And I'm just going to rotate these horses and just kind of eyeball it, but make them so they're evenly distributed there. And now what we can do is, let's go to front view here. Go ahead and go into the timeline. Let's go to 0, and then press N. We're going to go to item. This box will come up. Click on item. Go into the location, and where it says Z 0 meters, just right click and then insert a keyframe. And then you'll see that there's a keyframe down here. Now let's go to 25 on here. And we're just going to change this Z location. We're going to put in there 2, enter, and then right click, insert keyframes. And then we're going to go down here to the timeline and just duplicate this, Shift D, and then go G50. And that moves the duplicate over here. Now, this is a trick. Instead of doing that again, we can just repeat this action by pressing Shift and then hold down Shift and press R, and then just keep pressing R. That does that. Otherwise, you can do it manually if that doesn't work for you. Now let's play this, and we have these moving up on the. Now let's select the other ones here. Do the opposite. Do the these are the other horses. What we're going to do is we have this item thing open, and the Z location. What we're going to do is we're on 0. We're going to make this one. We're going to put this at 2. Enter. Left click, insert keyframe. Then we're going to go to 25. and we're going to put that one at 0. And then insert a keyframe, and then do the same thing here. Shift D, G, 50, hold down Shift, R. And now let's play this animation, and they're going opposite. Now we're going to add a cylinder. Shift A, mesh, cylinder. Scale it up S15, enter. Maybe even a little bigger like this. And scale it down on the Z, bring it down, GZ, duplicate it, Shift D, G, Z. This one I'm going to scale down on the Z, maybe scale the whole thing up a little bit so it's wider than the other one. Maybe scale it down on the Z a little bit again. And then duplicate it, Shift D, G, Z, bring it down to the bottom here. And shift select all 3 of these, maybe bring them up a little bit. See how that works with the animation. Now what we want to do is select a set of horses and then shift select the top cylinder here, and we're going to parent that to the top cylinder. Control P, set parent to object, and then do the same thing with the other set of horses. Shift select that top cylinder, Control P, set parent to object. So now they're both parented to the object, to the cylinder. Let's go to 0 here, and then again we're going to press N for the item, and this time we're going to go to rotation. It has 0 rotation. We're going to right click and then insert keyframes, and now let's go to 250, and we're going to make this 360. Right click and then insert a keyframe there. So we have a keyframe here and a keyframe here, and now you can watch this. Let's play that. Oh, something strange happened. So actually these are the ones that are flying away. The ones that are flying away, you actually have to, you have to apply the modifiers on all these horses before you are able to animate it properly. So now it's going to work. Now it's working. And this horse in the middle, let's just go up here. We can hide that one. Okay, so now it's working properly. Alright, let's go to top view 7 on the numpad, and we're going to add a plane, Shift A, mesh, plane. I'm just going to isolate it right now, and tab into edit mode, and I'm just going to scale it up on the X, SX2. I'm going to move it up on the Y, GY1. Move it over on the X, GX -2. Give it some vertical loop cuts. Select this vertex. I'm just going to move it up GY1. I'll select this one here, move it down GY -1. And then I'm just going to rearrange these vertices here, GY. We just want this kind of shape here. So let's go over here to modifier properties. Let's give it a mirror modifier and enable clipping. Let's give it another mirror modifier. Disable it on the x-axis, enable it on the y-axis, enable clipping. Let's tab into object mode and just apply both those modifiers. Tab back into edit mode, go into wireframe view Z4, let's go into edge select. Hold down Alt and just select these edges here, and then let's shift, then hold down Alt and select those edges, and then hold down Shift and select these edges here. Let's duplicate this outer edge, Shift D, left click. Then let's press P, separate by selection. Tab into object mode. Grab that. So now we just have this outer edge here. And we're going to go up here to this object tab. Click on there. This box comes up. Bring it down here, all the way down here to convert. Convert to curve. And let's go over here to object data properties for the curve. This green curve. Click on there and open up the geometry tab. Down here it says bevel, just leave it on round, and then where it says depth we're going to increase that like that. So we have this outer thing here. Let's go into solid view. With that selected, let's go back up here to the object tab, and the box comes up again. Let's convert it back to a mesh. Let's select the middle part here, and we're going to duplicate this, Shift D, left click. We're going to scale the duplicate down, press S, scale down like this. Let's go to side view 3 on the numpad, and let's give that duplicate a solidify modifier, increase the thickness. And let's bring it up on the Z-axis, GZ, just sort of center it like this. Let's apply solidify modifier. Let's go into material preview, with that selected, let's go to Material Properties, New, Base Color, just give it a yellow. Let's select this outer edge, and we're going to give this a new material. Go here, Base Color, just drag it down to get kind of a dark gray. Put the roughness all the way down to 0. Select the other part and give it that same gray material, 6. Now let's just select all these, shift select all these and join them, make them one object, Control J. Let's rotate it on the x-axis, RX 90. Okay, so now let's just zoom out. We're going to add a curve circle, Shift A, curve circle. Let's tab into edit mode. Actually, we got to unhide all the other stuff here. Now that we have this curve circle, let's scale it up like this. So it's maybe a little bit smaller than the, probably a little bit smaller than the cylinder here. Okay, so let's tab into object mode. Let's go to front view here. Let me just move it up on the Z-axis. Select this part here, and we're going to give it an array modifier, and we're going to give it a curve modifier. Curve object is going to be that circle we just added, and we have these are called crestings. We're just going to increase the count here. You scale it up a little bit just so it fits right. So we have those crestings. Let's go ahead and add a mesh cylinder, and here's the box. Let's change the number of vertices, decrease the number of vertices from 32 to 8. Let me go ahead and isolate the new cylinder. Let's just scale it up like that. Maybe scale it up on the Z. I'm going to give it a material, new, base color. Give it a red, and then kind of darkish red a little bit. Well, let's unhide everything just to see our proportions. So it's a little bit too tall, so let's just scale it down on the Z. Bring it up here. Maybe even scale it in a little bit. Let's add a Shift A. Let's add a plane. Add another plane here. Let's just shift select the cylinder and the plane, and we're going to isolate the two of those. Go into wireframe view. Select our plane here. Tab into edit mode, and we'll just scale this up on the Y like this. I'm going to give it a vertical loop cut and give it a horizontal loop cut here. Control R. Bring it up to about here. Go into vertex select, one on the keyboard. I'm just going to select these vertices on the top and just scale them in on the X like this to about here. Select this vertex here, just bring it down on the Y axis like this. Maybe select these two vertices, scale them in on the X like this. Select these here, scale them out a little bit on the X, maybe bring them down on the Y a little bit. Let's go into edge select. So you want to select all the outer edges. There's these two little ones up here. Get those. And what we're going to do is duplicate this, Shift D, left click, then P, separate by selection. Tab in object mode. Then we have this separate part here. Again, we're going to go up here to the object tab, bring up the box, and we're going to convert this to a curve. Go down here to the object data properties for the curve, click on there, and again we're going to go to bevel and then increase the bevel depth. Let's go into solid view, actually into, we can hide the cylinder right now. Select this outer part again, and we're going to go up here and go up to the object tab again and convert it back to a mesh, and then we're going to shift select the other part here, just make those one piece. We're going to go into material preview, material properties, and then just give it that same gray material that we gave to the other plane. Now let's rotate this on the x-axis, RX 90. Bring our cylinder back. Go into wireframe view. Let me scale it up a little bit like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this on the outside of the cylinder. And you got to be a little bit precise the way you do this. I'm going to put them on each plane. So there's one. Let's duplicate it, Shift D, do one over here. Make sure it's on there evenly. Duplicate both of those and bring it over here. Rotate. Then select the 4 of those and duplicate them. Shift D, RZ 180. Bring that down here. Try to get it on evenly. then let's just shift select all of these. Well, actually, yeah, just shift select them and join them. Control J. Let's go to front view here and back into material preview. Let's move these up, GZ, and then scale them up on the Z like that. Let's press the / bring everything else back. Now let's we're gonna add a cone, Shift A, mesh cone. Let's scale it up, S, bring it up on the Z, scale it up more. Let's tab in edit mode and go into vertex select. Select this top vertex and just bring it down, GZ. Let's go into material preview and let's go into face select. So we're in face select. Let's just select alternately 2 faces like this. And go ahead and give it a new material. Just give it a red. Go up here to the select tab and the box comes up. Go here and invert. And then just go up here plus add a new color. Just add a yellow, sign it. Now we can give these two, do one at a time here, but give those the same yellow material we just used. And what I did with the middle one, just to add a little bit of variety that the carousels have, is I used photographs from historical photographs like from the Renaissance. I used the UV editor to put these paintings on here, give it that kind of busyness that carousels have. Now one more thing I forgot. Let's select the cylinder and just isolate it, and I'm going to hold Control press A and apply all transforms. Now I'm going to duplicate it, Shift D, left click. So we have a duplicate here. Let's just hide the other one, and so now we just have the duplicate visible. Let's tab into edit mode, and we're going to delete only faces. So delete, and then the box comes up, only faces. So now you have these edges here. Let's go up here to the object tab and bring it up here, and then go and convert this to a curve. Let's add Shift A mesh. Let's add a UV sphere. Right click, shade auto smooth. Let's add a mesh plane. Shift A mesh plane. With the plane selected, let's give it an array modifier and a curve modifier. Curve object's going to be the cylinder, and let's just increase the count here so it goes around like this. And now let's select the sphere and then shift select the plane and parent the sphere to the plane. Control P, set parent to object. Let's select the plane by itself and go here to object properties, click on there, and then go down here to instancing. Here's an instancing, and you're gonna switch it over from none to faces, and then where it says show instancer, just click on the checks so they're not visible. Now let's scale down our spheres, and then go back to modifier properties, and then on the array modifier, increase the count, and then let's just I think we can scale those spheres down even more, increase the count. Maybe go here to the X, factor X, and just increase that a little bit, so there's a little bit of distance between the spheres, and then we can decrease the count again. Let's bring everything back, and we need to bring the cylinder back. Now let's go here to material properties, give it a new material. What I'm going to do is bring it down here, and where it says emission on there, and then just bring that up, make it a little bit bright, not too much, and then maybe go over here to the yellow,